Welcome everyone to the very first episode of our podcast. We are the podcast team from the ESFS Student Finance Society, and we are very excited to bring you detailed insights on the latest economic and market developments. I am Leia Marcel, and joining me today, we have our amazing team members. Laura, who will cover the most recent global and macroeconomic perspectives. She will also focus on how commodity prices are influenced by inflation and supply chain disruptions. We also have here with us Francesco, who will walk us through market performance, summarizing the key movements in global indices. He will also dive into equity research, analyzing a top-performing company, discussing its recent financial performance and results and the future outlook. And finally, Tony will lead our Insight Spotlight discussion, exploring a major financial trend in depth. He will also provide the week ahead, offering insights into upcoming economic data releases and other key events that could shape the market. We've got a packed agenda, so let's dive right in.
Thank you, Leia, very much. Let's go into the macroeconomic perspective. So first of all, trade tensions remain high as President Trump's 20% tariffs on steel and aluminum continue to spark reactions. Canada and Mexico have secured a temporary exemption until April, while a 15% tariff on European auto imports has raised concerns of EU retaliations, increasing pressure on global trade relations. Inflationary concerns persist, while January CPI rising to 3.2 year-on-year, slightly above expectations. The Federal Reserve remains cautious, suggesting that interest rate cuts may be postponed further into mid to late 2025, as inflation continues to exceed 2% target. Consumer sentiment is mixed, with rising wages balancing out higher prices on goods and services. In Europe, economic growth is slowing, with Eurozone forecast revised to 1.1% for 2025. Germany, the region's economic powerhouse, is expected to contract by 0.2% in second consecutive quarters of negative growth. The EU is considering countermeasures, including potential tariffs on the US, agricultural products in response to heightened trade disputes. China's economic performance is mixed. While industrial output grew 4.6% year-on-year and retail sales increased 3.9%, foreign investment remains weak, and the property sector crisis remains. The government is reducing its reliance on US treasuries, signaling strategic adjustment in global financial markets. Meanwhile, China's recent 2 billion sovereign bond issuance saw strong demand, indicating confidence from global investors. Geopolitical tensions continue to escalate. Russia has intensified its military action in Ukraine, prompting the EU to consider further sanctions on Russia's bank and oil exports. In the Middle East, talks regarding Gaza reconstruction remain uncertain, with Gulf nations and the US negotiating long-term economic aid and security guarantees. Turning to commodities, on the other hand, global prices have surged to 2,190 per ounce as central bank increased reserves aimed to global uncertainty. Oil prices remain volatile, while Brent crude trading at 82 per barrel, reflecting fluctuating supply concerns. Meanwhile, European natural gas prices rose 6%, driven by fears of potential disruptions in Russian supply. Currency markets reflect ongoing economic uncertainty. First of all, the US remains strong, supported by expectations of delayed rate cuts. The euro has weakened to 1.085, while the Chinese yuan is holding at 7.22 per dollar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laura. I'm Francesco, and today I'll be guiding you through an overview of financial markets with a final, deeper focus on one equity. This week has been full of key movements in global indices, and today we'll cover the S&P 500, Nasdaq Composite, and Euro Stoxx 50, followed by a deeper dive into NVIDIA, one of the most talked about companies in the market. But let's dive in. So, just a quick note. S&P 500 and Nasdaq, as you may know, were closed on Monday due to the President Day, which is a US national holiday. And starting with the S&P 500 index, This week the index fell by 0.13% and closed at 7,117.52. This was largely due to beverages and product component of the index. Today, its 30 price volatility fell to 12.12% compared to 12.58% of the last month. So the leaders in this index were Super Microcomputer Inc. with the highest percentage change of 27%, Microchip Technology, Analog Devices, Texas Instruments Inc., Hasbro, ENTC, UW, Devon Energy, NXP Semiconductors, AES Corp, Huntington Ingalls, and now we will delve into Nasdaq Composite. So shifting to the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite Index, it was lower by 0.4%, reaching its week lowest at 19,821. Nasdaq Transportation Index stock led the market slightly lower as 4 out of 8 sectors fell on Friday. And now turning to Europe, the Euro Stoxx 50 fell by 0.89%, hitting the biggest decline since the week ending in the January 3rd of last month. So the broader Stoxx Europe 600 hit a growth of 2.4% so far this month, and this week little has changed. Now we will delve into the latest news about NVIDIA Corporation, which experienced nearly 600 billion drop in the market cap at the beginning of the month, but shows recovery signs since February 12. And now we will delve into key highlights from its performance. With a market capitalization of $3.403 trillion, now traded at $139.53, is a sector leader in semiconductors, sector which is driving the majority of major indexes like S&P 500. So the stock movement was 2.69% higher this week, despite the recent DeepSeek emergence. So, with the launch of DeepSeek, a newly launched Chinese AI model, raised concern that China might accelerate effort to develop its own AI chips, reducing reliance on NVIDIA GPUs. However, broader market research conducted with US Chief Information Officers suggests that demand for GPUs, CPUs, and networking chips in AI servers remains strong, even as enterprises shift focus towards cost efficiency and real-world AI application. NVIDIA still leads with cover 50% of the AI GPU market, but competition is intensifying. Large cloud providers like AWS are expanding in-house chip production, increasing demand for custom chips over traditional GPUs. Meanwhile, NVIDIA's networking business, particularly in the Spectrum Ethernet, which is 20% of market share for the company, faces growing pressure from Broadcom-based alternatives. Despite this shift, NVIDIA remains central to AI infrastructure, powering 26% of AI servers worldwide. So that wraps up this week, Markets Insights, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Francesco. Now moving on into the last section. We want to know what's happening right now. So this week, Microsoft just launched and announced a major milestone in quantum computing, the Majorana 1. This new quantum chip or processor could bring us closer than ever to a future where quantum computers solve problems that today's supercomputers can't even attempt. How does quantum computing work? Simplified, it basically consists of traditional computers process information in bits, small units of data that are either 0 or 1. Quantum computers, however, use qubits, which can be both 0 and 1 at the same time. This allows them to process massive amounts of data simultaneously, making them exponentially faster than classical computers for certain tasks. Why should the finance world care about this major discovery? While quantum computing might sound like a topic for scientists, it has a huge implications for financial markets, including: first, supercharged market predictions. Quantum algorithms could analyze market trends and predict stock movements far more accurately than today's AI models. Imagine a hedge fund that can run millions of simulations per second to optimize investments. Second, revolutionizing cryptography. Today's financial transactions rely on encryption to stay secure. Quantum computers could break current encryption systems, forcing banks and institutions to upgrade their cybersecurity to quantum-resistant methods. It also has a high-frequency trading impact on high-frequency trading. Firms could use quantum computing to detect arbitrage opportunities instantly, making markets even more efficient or volatile. Also, improving portfolio optimization. Quantum computing could could also help investors create a better diversified portfolios by analyzing risk factors at an unprecedented scale. Challenges to adoption. There are some challenges, of course. We're not there yet. Quantum computers are still experimental, extremely expensive, and difficult to scale. But Microsoft's new Majorana 1 chip, we may be witnessing the start of a quantum revolution in finance within the next decade. With the Majorana 1, challenges ahead arises. First, limited accessibility, regulatory uncertainty. Governments will need to define clear policies on quantum applications in finance. While it may take a few more years before quantum computing is fully integrated into financial services, Microsoft's Majorana 1 chip is a major step toward that reality. Investors should keep an eye on companies investing in quantum tech, as they could shape the future of finance. Now let's move into the week ahead. Key financial events from February 24 to 1st of March. Let's take a look at the key economic and corporate events for the coming week. First, investors will closely watch geopolitical developments, especially regarding the EU-US-Ukraine relations. A change in US policy could affect energy prices and defense stocks to go up. On Wednesday, the February 26th, NVIDIA reports its earnings. NVIDIA will report Q4 and full year 2025 earnings after market close. Later on, analysts expect to record revenue growth driven by AI and data center sales. However, competition from China's DeepSeek AI and potential supply chain disruptions are concerns. Thursday, February 27, Bank of England policy report. The BOE will release its latest monetary policy update. With inflation still above target, markets will look for signals on interest rate cuts later in 2025. Finally, on Friday, any further geopolitical tension or policy shifts from the US could cause volatility in global markets.
Thank you, Tony, for that valuable insight into the latest financial developments and what to expect in the upcoming week. From now on, we've seen how global markets are evolving, but now let's shift our focus to something closer to home, which is how the ESFS Student Finance Society is creating opportunities for students to develop their finance and investment skills. With several exciting events underway, there's no better time to get involved. Well, yesterday, we had an incredible session with AZ Capital at ESADE, where students explored the world of investment banking and M&A. It was a unique opportunity to learn from experts, discover off-cycle programs, and uncover key insights to stand out in the sector. Thank you so much to AZ Capital and to everyone who attended. Looking ahead, Shark Tank on April 26th will bring top students, entrepreneurs from leading universities to pitch their startups to Spain top venture capital firms with funding opportunities up to 1.5 million euros. Applications just closed, but tickets are available. So don't miss this chance to see the next big startup in action. So let's wrap up this week's episode. We've covered the latest in global trade policies, inflation trends, and market movements, along with a deep dive into quantum revolution in finance. From NVIDIA's market shifts to China's economic rebound and geopolitical tensions, it's clear that the financial landscape is evolving rapidly. As always, staying ahead of these shifts is key to making informed decisions. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for more insights and analysis.